Hello, welcome to Acne Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your game goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
How you doing? Excited to be here in a week where we've all played video games. Pretty rare.
Love that for us. Rare. I'll see you, Ciaran Munchin.
So many games, and yet I got Diamond 3 in Marvel Rivals yesterday, and biggest achievement of the week.
Wow, I can't believe you're still supporting that game when they fired everybody for being too successful.
Don't even get me started on that bullshit news story. Oh my God.
The best meme I think I saw was like the corridor thing where someone was like, highly successful, like millions of dollars game, still fire 1,000 employees, and there's like Concord on the side. Yeah, that one was like Concord. It's like non-success, fire everybody. It's like it's the same fucking door.
Yeah. There's so much context, and people only know the starting shitty version of it.
I mean, I don't think there's a good version of the story.
It's not as bad as what it made to seem to be. With the person that even
put it
like
in context.
So, the person who first sent the email to people about it happening, even the way he worded it sounded like he and his team got fired. He didn't get fired. It wasn't anything to do with the game director of Marvel Rivals and NetEase. It was an R&D team that was based in Seattle that was assisting with creating creating tools to be used on Marvel Rivals.
What does that
mean? So like they were like helping to like research and develop like the infrastructure mechanisms to the game and like the background stuff to it. And they were just from everything I've read, it was always the plan for them to finish up at some point because the game had launched and there was no further requirement for that R&D team to continue working on the project.
So really, this director screwed up by saying wording it in a way that made everybody believe they were fired instead of their contract with the company came to an end.
Yes, correct. Yes, and that he himself was completely fine and still had a job.
Good for him.
Yeah, yeah.
This week on the show, I don't think really any news. I'll just quickly go over some massive new stuff that's happening next week so everyone has a PSA. We'll talk about Bloom Rage in a second. Ash has been playing Like Drag and Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. What a title. Loop back to Avowed for Ciaran's impressions, and he's been digging a hole. All right, so firstly, Bloom and Rage, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1, out now. Tape 1 of 2. This will be a 2 game. It's Don't Nod's closest to Life is Strange thing that they've done since
they stopped doing Life is Strange.
Yeah, since they stopped doing Life is Strange 2. Sorry, I was trying to think which was the last one, but Life is Strange 2, which was, I don't know, fucking years ago now, to be honest. It was a while ago. So this story places you across 2 timelines. You play as like a 40-year-old version of the character who is meeting up with her friends in a bar after not seeing them for 27 years. And the game sort of cuts backwards and forwards between that time when you're talking and those friends like come in and you're chatting to them, and then cuts back to when they're 16, 17, whatever it is, teenagers, and you're first meeting the 3 other friends that form your friend group in this young town in the mid 90s. 2 of them are in a band, which at some point in the first chapter they do call Blood and Rage after it's originally called
Bloom and Rage. It's called Spew at first.
Spew or something, yeah, terrible. Like that. A big mechanic for the game is using the tape to record stuff, but other than that, I would say it's pretty like Life is Strangey. Like you're still doing a lot of for good or bad, and this is where your opinions going to vary, as you're still doing a lot of like walking around, like characters are chatting. Like there's an early part of the game in like a playground where you're just like fumbling around until you find the right thing to trigger the next part of the game. The choices can be made on the fly, similar to they could in Life is Strange 2, but that's pretty much been adopted by every similar game like this now, where you can sort of just select between a couple of things. Maybe you let the conversation hang and unlock a third option, and so on. There are some interesting without going, I guess, too far into spoilers, I will have a review for this up by the time this is. Actually, I'm not going to say that. Not up by the time this publishes, probably, but early next week. but there is like sort of a supernatural element or magical element that kicks in. There's also a thing that like as you're playing it, you can very easily sort of figure out that choices that you're making in the past are affecting the future as you're playing them. The earliest one is like I straight away I figured out like, oh, if I didn't block this grate, then these keys wouldn't be here in the current day time and stuff like that. I've enjoyed it. I don't think it's any like I think it's good. I guess is where I'm settling in on. I do enjoy the characters. I enjoy. I think the number one thing that I quite like the most is just having the, you know, like you got to like what game has a bunch of like 40-year-old women get together and talk about it? Like that's not a thing. Like it's a very different sort of type of characters to see talk about and see how they or interact with stuff. So I think for that, I was like, this is cool. This is not something I've seen in a video game. The teenage stuff is good. It's not mind blowing. Like I think most of the characters are fine. It's just a lot of it's very. I don't want to say like stereotypical because there's like still a is a unique-ish story because you are playing very obviously a LGBTQ plus character from the outset, and I don't think you really get a choice about that. It's just sort of who you have the romance for, like which I don't mind. Like the game is like your character's gay, just pick who you have the hots for. Like I think that's fine, but I don't think they do anything like super interesting with the stuff they set up, which is like you're playing as a what I guess they're trying to say is a quote unquote larger character, even though she's in no terms of anything you would call fat. But obviously, they're early in the game. There's characters like calling her fat. You have a lot of options to you can choose to or not choose to play her as like I guess having a lot more body dysphoria than she may have, and how that's sort of up to you. I don't think any of those elements, at least in this tape one, are like used that well, and I nearly feel like they should have taken the choice out of it and just been like, all right, if you want to do a character in the story that has like body dysphoria and if you want to go over it, don't let me make those choices. Just sort of take those choices away from me and let me like make choices to deal with it, and maybe that would be a more interesting story. Ciaran, you've played some. How what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm I think like 2.5, 3 hours into it. I actually started playing this on my Steam Deck.
Me too.
And then something that I did not know at all is how much there is a first person segment in this game, and then it bounces between first person and third person the entire time. And I was like, oh, fuck.
To clarify, the first person stuff is when you're in the present day, and the third person is the flashbacks to the 90s stuff.
Yeah. So, you know, it was bad playing that, and then I sat down yesterday and started playing some on the PC as well, just to bounce between the two. I think I struggled, and probably why I'm not further or why I haven't finished the first tape, I struggled with the pacing of the early game. I think it is the Swan, the lead character, spends a lot of like maybe the first 45 minutes of the game to an hour of the game by herself. And it's very it's more focused on the recording things with the camera and kind of looking around the environment and finding different elements to record, because collectibles in this game are you finding various things to record and then making tapes out of them.
I will say that the her by herself is story reasons. They want to set up how alone she is.
Yes, yeah, exactly right. It's a story. That's the thing, right? It's narratively, that's good for the story, but it just felt the pacing was slow, and then I find the bouncing back and forth between the two time periods very jarring as well at times, where you'll be really getting into the story of the present day person, and then it'll like yank you into the past, and you're like, bro, I just wanted to stay and enjoy that conversation. I like all the interactions between the characters. I think they are at like kind of the heart of this game is the conversation and the friendship building and the interactions. I think this game looks fantastic, and even like the character models, it's not nice, but like for the four main girls, like they are maybe the most realistic teenagers I've seen in a video game, not just based on their writing, but like also how they like their visuals, like even to the point where like it's actually I've never seen a game do acne very well, and it's like very realistic on a couple of the characters, and like
I haven't noticed this. I feel like I should just play it on my PC before.
yeah, like
I've not
sit down on your
noticed this on the
PC.
Steam Deck at all.
Yeah, like there's very interesting like characters have actually got acne and they've got pimples and they've got like their skin is very, and like even like and a detail I didn't pick up on my Steam Deck, which I picked up immediately, is like for a good portion of the present day timeline, you're sat in like a booth in the bar talking with another character, and the camera in there and how when you're looking around, like different elements will come in and out of focus. Very much like because Swan, the lead character, is this like kind of has used a camera for much of her life. It's very much imitating that. And like if you look to the side, her friend will go like out of focus, and then you'll get the focus of the background characters that are going on in the bar. And it's very little details I think make this game very interesting to look at. There was a moment in this game, and it was very strange for me as a cis white man of a situation I've never been in, of like there's a scene where the main character is being intimidated by a man, by an older teenage guy, and I've never felt so uncomfortable before, and like never felt so.
How weird is it though? That fight starts with another girl, and then the girl tries to get her boyfriend to pretty much fight this girl for her.
Yeah, 100%. And I've never felt so uncomfortable, so helpless in that situation as she is in that moment. And I think that's a very interesting thing to be made to feel as a guy in that situation, and brings a lot of empathy and understanding to the start of a lot of plights that women are in every day. Yeah, I think now that I'm getting later into this section, the pacing has picked up a lot better for me. I am very much enjoying the interactions. I'm interested to see where it goes and where the supernatural element, because the thing is, the main characters, or like when they're meeting up in the present day, have either like somehow forgotten or like don't have very good memories of what happened 27 years ago. So you're reliving it at the same time as they're reliving it. And so there'll be moments where you can reminisce on stuff, and it isn't just Swan's thoughts. It'll be Swan and one of the other characters or multiple other characters having a discussion about that and reacting and talking about it. So yeah, I think anybody who plays this game expecting it to be more action or to not be walking around doing stuff, like you're playing the wrong genre. You're playing the wrong game type.
I definitely feel like I would say my biggest problem is the pacing. And it's just because, and it's so weird because Dontnod's done like several other games, including the underrated Banishers New Ghosts, Banishers Ghosts of New Eden last year.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot of really interesting games, and they quite often try unique, different things with their third person games or whatever. And I mean, they even did that climbing thing last year, which I never actually played. I can't. Was it Usant? Well, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. But this, it's just like, I'm like, okay, so you haven't done this sort of type of game for a while, but they just went back to like what works instead of trying to do something new. I'm like, I still enjoy playing it, but straight away you're very much like, oh, this just feels like playing your last Life is Strange game, which came out years ago. Like, I don't feel like the gameplay's changed at all, but you've made so many other projects since then. So it's like the story and themes and whatever else might have changed, but the core gameplay, they're just like, nah, same shit, different day. And I think that's the main disappointing thing I'd say so far about it. But yeah, part 2's out I don't know, around this time next month, April 15th. There you go, found the answer quickly. Came for that. All right, couple of news stories just quickly. Well, not really news stories, but PSAs. I just want to quickly run down through this because there's not much news this week, but there should be a lot next week. So we have an ID at Xbox /IGN team up that's happening next week. It's happening on February 25th. That's our Tuesdays when that one's happening. Studios have announced to be part of the show so far. 11-bit, Big Fan, Critical Flex, Daily, Game Source Entertainment, No More Robots, Panic, Playstack, Raw Fury, Thunder Lotus, Cult Games, Team 17, Curve, Akapura Games, and Don't Nod, shout-outs. That one will be airing Melbourne time 5 a.m. on Tuesday, so keen to see what happens there. Annapurna Interactive also have a showcase on the same day. So this is their yearly Annapurna Interactive publisher showcase. They've announced that the show will include Wanda Stop, Skin Deep, Wheel World, Fairway, Lush Foil, To a T, Morsels, and of course some special surprises. That one will be at 4 a.m. Tuesday. Presumably we'll go for 45 minutes or something, like 45 to an hour. And
who knows? Because it's a completely new team over at Annapurna now, so it might be something completely different.
It is true. I'm keen for that. Their Annapurna Interactives are usually pretty good. Like I like the past ones, the way they edit in the devs talking about the games and stuff is always quite good. And then on February 28th, the Friday, Melbourne time 1 a.m. Friday, we have the yearly Pokemon Presents for Pokemon Day is happening. So of course last year's Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day revealed Pokemon Legends ZA or ZA, however we're saying it. I'd expect us to get more information in this event, probably a release date or release rough time frame, but holy fuck, that game better be coming out this year. And then of course last year's event also debuted Pokemon trading card game Pocket. I'd expect that to show up here alongside other mobile game updates and stuff. And who knows what's happening with Pokemon Go, considering that's apparently getting sold now. But I don't want to go open that can of worms too much, to be completely honest. Like a Dragon Pirate Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Ash.
Yes.
Take it away before I have to say the goddamn name of the game.
What game was it again?
Fuck off.
So this is a sequel, follow-up to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. You're playing Goro Majima, who is, one of
crazy son of a bitch.
Kazuya Kirimu's former rivals turned friend. He is in Hawaii for unknown reasons, and some sort of ship accident happens, and he winds up on this random island with no memory of who he is or anything like that, except, he's still got his skills, He comes across he's saved by this young boy called Noah with his pet tiger, which, no one makes a real big deal about. It's just a cat, apparently. Yeah, and then they become engulfed in the world of pirates. Honestly, there is not much point in following the story too closely. It's more focused on getting into the action and getting into this pirate-themed world, I guess. Yeah, it's a pirate Yakuza game, like more of the brawly type that people most recently would be fond with. The other terribly named Yakuza, the man who raised his name. That kind of entry.
He was a man who raised his name, though.
It's true. The title is accurate.
His title is
just accurate. Like this title is accurate. But it is not great for SEO or search engines or like putting on a sign. Yeah, so you play Goro being a pirate. There's two different fighting styles that he has. He has the Mad Dog, which is kind of like more of his Yakuza style, fighting with a knife. And then you've got like a swashbuckling style that you can switch to, which is he has dual swords and a gun and a hook that you can use to pull people in and that kind of stuff. You get a ship, and then, I was surprised that he does find out who he is very early, but then he has the option of like, oh, we'll just send you back to your friends. And, I guess this will be the end of it. He's like, wait, there's all these pirate adventures I can have? Let's fuck meeting my friends and finding out who I am. Let's get to this pirate adventure. Because this is he pisses off like a captain of some ship called Jack the Collector. And Jack the Collector like places a bounty on him. So now a bunch of pirates are coming after you, I guess, is the concept. So the only way to beat them all is to beat them in the Pirate Coliseum at Madlantis.
There's a
which is like
pirate Coliseum.
Pirate Coliseum. Madlantis is like a ship graveyard that's been turned into like a, pirate Vegas or whatever, So then, as you would expect from these kinds of games, you just fight a bunch of pirates. But you have to go to Hawaii and like find crew members to come be in your ship. So then you have to do all the stuff you'd expect from a Yakuza game, like you have to build bonds, you have to make friends. They pull a lot of stuff from the most recent game, like the Aloha links and that kind of stuff. I mean, the bar that you go and meet people is Revolve, with that bartender and the lady.
He has one in Hawaii, or he moved to Hawaii, or you go to the same bar.
No, there's a bar in Hawaii that is very prominent in the.
With that character there?
Maybe you're thinking of a different character.
Okay.
I think maybe both bars are called Revolve.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or Resolve, whatever.
Yeah.
It just could be just coincidence.
I'm really wondering how they wrap this game up, because I feel like by the end he has to get all his memories back, right?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a really good time. I think the action is really fun. Like the leveling up system is all right. It's a combination of money that you earn, which again, much like you said in Infinite Wealth, it's like it's not as satisfying when you beat up some people and you just get $1 or $50. But the 1,000, that looks more impressive.
Yeah, it looks so much more impressive.
Yeah. But yeah, you spend that as well as like pirate points that you earn to like rank up your reputation as a pirate, and then that you can upgrade your abilities that way, and unlock new skills and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm like 7.5 hours in, and like I'm
97 to go.
Haven't even gotten to fighting in the Coliseum yet, so gotta go. Finally got to Hawaii. You get all the sub stories and all the stuff that you got there. Using a large portion of the map, there's like certain places that got like certain side streets and that have been cordoned off and that kind of stuff. But this is definitely one that you need to play after you finish Infinite Wealth, because it kind of flat out spoils the big bad and their master plan. Sorry, you'll have to wait to experience the pirate stuff. So,
I heard people complain about the naval combat.
It's pretty basic, It's like, you've got a machine gun at the front of your ship, and then you've got 2 cannons on either side, and it's just kind of navigating to take out the other ships.
So it's not better than Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I didn't play Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Whoa.
We've established this before, but I enjoyed it more than fucking Skull and Bones. We'll say that. So
better than Skull and Bones. Better naval combat than Skull and Bones. You heard it here first, folks.
I would say, that's my opinion of my limited naval combat. Maybe when you're in the Coliseum, then like you can jump on the other opponent's deck and that kind of stuff.
Whoa, like in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, I feel like it's maybe it's more fun because it gives you what you want, where you can actually be the people on board the ship rather than just being the ship. You know what I
mean? Before we move on, get to talking about the last couple of games Kieran's been playing, I just want to say, talking about Yakuza, I watched Alana Pierce put out a video this week about Yakuza. It's very good, so just watching that. It's just her like sort of talking about why it's so great. The franchise is so great. It was quite a good watch. I would suggest watching that. I enjoyed it. She's like, this franchise is so dumb but so good.
It is. Yeah, there's just the wackiest characters that you'll meet. There is a person that you recruit who's called Captain Beef. And for some reason, he just does a dance where he's raising his hands in the air and just shaking himself. It's like introduce himself. Yeah. And then there's like there's a bunch of mascots who show up, and like they're all just in the mascot suit to pick up women.
Whatever works.
How much Samoa Joe's in the game?
I have not gotten to Samoa Joe yet, but he features prominently in the titles. Oh well, his name shows up in the titles, and there is a musical sequence.
Does it say Samoa Joe?
It does say Samoa Joe. So, I don't know what his name is. I assume it's just Samoa Joe. He came out of his womb. His parents' surname was Joe, and they decided, hey, I'm calling you Samoa.
Let's go. Tell me about a game about digging a hole.
It's a game where you dig a hole.
All right. And do you want to talk to me about? No. Why is this game taking?
No.
I've seen a lot of people tweeting and zeeting and blue skying and whatever we call it about this game. Why this game
It
taking
is
so-
a $20 game, I think, on Steam.
No, it's $7.50.
Oh, is it? Fuck, I was overshooting it. $7.50.
I was like,
All right.
it cannot be $20. Surely not.
Hey, it was a good couple hours of fun.
Yeah,
The setup for this game is the main character is sold a house for $10,000 super cheap and is told, hey, there is buried treasure in this garden. So
Fine.
that's the premise. That's the setup. You are given a shovel and you start digging a hole. As you kind of progress, of course, you find various ores, sell them online, upgrade your gear until you're like digging your own mine shafts and like tunneling down into it and using dynamite sticks to break apart bigger rocks that can't be broken apart with your shovel. You upgrade to the point of the shovel where the shovel just becomes like a drill and you just drill tunnels everywhere. And like as you're kind of digging, you find like abandoned mine shafts that have various like hidden treasures in them. That's pretty much it without kind of spoiling anything or ruining anything with the game. It's a lot of fun. I think I played it for like 2.5, 3 hours and I finished it. It's a lot of fun as long as you. Yeah, I guess for anybody who has ever played Minecraft and you just enjoy digging a hole, it is exactly that.
Are there zombies and skeletons?
No, it's a peaceful digging the hole.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The review here on Steam says, dug the entire yard down to the very end. I cried, wept even. This game was a religious experience. I love Hole. I worship Hole. Hole is love. Hole. Amen.
100%. You 100% can just dig the whole thing.
Here's this other review. What a waste of time. I love it.
Like it is. It's a fun experience. There's like a whole new game plus built into it. Like,
see what we did there. Very funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cheap experience. But it's you know what? If you've got an afternoon, you need to do something. Go dig a hole.
Is there fall damage?
Yes.
Okay.
There's fall damage. There's jetpacks.
Just from the trailers, it seems like he's falling. It like doesn't go splat.
I don't
Doesn't
know.
go splat.
I don't know.
He should.
All right, and then I talked about it last week, but Ciaran, you've dove into Avowed a bit as well.
Played Avowed as soon as it came live on Xbox Game Pass because I didn't understand why anybody would want to pay $140 to get 3 days or however many 5 days extra.
Sure, you get something else. Like it cannot just be. There must be like.
I think maybe
you
you
can stream it live on your Twitch channels early.
Okay, so you got 5 days early access. You got premium skin packs, 2 sets of bonus skins for your companions. Actually, no, hold on. I remember this because in the Discord where a lot of Australian reviewers are, everyone collectively, including myself. Sorry, I forgot about this. Everyone collectively, including myself, did not realize that we all got given the premium edition of the game. And that it came with these 2 armor sets that are apparently really good. And someone eventually asked at some point, did anyone else realize these armor sets were here and that we could have picked them up early in the game and they're really OP? And everyone, including me, was like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And then by the time everyone realized this, we're all like, we're now late game. This armor doesn't matter. But apparently it's really good for the start of the game. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, so played it. I'm really enjoying it. I probably put maybe 5 to 10 hours into it. I've just enjoyed fucking exploring. To be honest, like this game is so wonderful to go off the beaten path. Literally, the first time the game opens up and you're in the small kind of first little city town area, I hadn't even gone to like a main starter quest. And then I saw a fucking half-built lighthouse and was like, "That looks interesting." And then went up and climbed all the way up it. Like,
jump off?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
it's pretty fun to jump off.
Yeah, it's very fun to jump off. I saved it as well as I got to the top.
I also saved it. I didn't do anything with the clip, but I also saved it.
Yeah. I saved it so I could go back up there again if I ever needed to. Yeah, I think it's not recreating the wheel. It's not doing anything outlandish. Its characters are interesting to talk to. It's an interesting world. It's beautiful to look at. I find the combat actually really fun. I do wish maybe that there was a little bit more, I don't want to say structure to the leveling system. Like I kind of wish, I don't know. It feels weird that there's like different talent trees you can go through to put your perk points into. But then I'm just like, I just want to be a sneaky boy.
And then put all your skill points into sneaky boy things.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, I don't know. I do wish, maybe that's just me being weird. But no, I've fun with it.
Make your main character look
not very fucked up.
Oh, okay.
I have like the little like cheek switches, like
some cheek fungi.
Yeah, some cheek fungi. Because I was like, I don't want to hide it because I still think a bit of.
You click, that's the fun.
You can click the thing that makes
click all
it
the buttons to hide it, and you'll still walk up the character's game, and they go, "Oh, you're fucking disgusting."
Yeah. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. I think it's great. I don't think, as I said, I don't think it is anything amazing, but I think anybody who's like, man, this is going to be like the new Skyrim, I was like, you did not have any idea what you were going into.
I think the fun, and you're 5 hours in, but I feel like you should still have this vibe. I think that's the thing that like instantly stood out to me. The difference between this and like other things like even Skyrim, Fallout, what have you, is because your character is like has some sort of backstory compared to all those
that
other
is
games.
The interesting part of the game, like in terms of the narrative is
like people will speak to you and you're not just a blank slate, which I understand that some people do just want blank slates and want everyone to react to you as a blank slate, but it's something interesting about starting the game and the first people you interact with are like, you're here from the Emperor, I fucking hate him, and it's like, how you choose to play it from then's up to you, but like I appreciate having some like,
or even stuff like I really like the idea that you don't know who your patron is. You don't know who your god is. I think that's very interesting. It's very funny. There's a choice you make very early in the game where you have to choose if you like help in particular, like I guess a godly spirit or whatever. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm just a very untrusting person, but I was like, I don't trust this. I do not trust this. This seems dodgy. They're like, man, I'll give you this power, but you've got to help me out when the time comes. And I'm like, well, that's dodgy. That's going to bite me in the ass.
We'll see, because I know what you're talking about. And I said, yeah, totally, man.
Yeah, 100%, right? Yeah, like, yeah, totally, man. But then, I think there was, I was very, for the early parts of the game, I was very like, oh, this is very run of the mill. This is very, I'm having fun with it, but it's not doing anything. And then there's this moment where you walk into, I guess, the big city for the first time. And then a cutscene happens, and then it's like, bam. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, this is immediately more interesting. There's immediately more things happening in this world. There is a deeper narrative going on. And your character continues to feel, other than 1,000 people being like, you're the chosen one, there is weight to what's going on. And I think that's very interesting and intriguing. So yeah, I'm interested to continue exploring, continuing finding out what I can down beaten paths. And
did you kill the bear?
Yes,
you did kill the bear. Okay,
yeah. Were you not supposed to kill the bear?
No, I mean it's a choice, but it's very like without spoiling it, it's very interesting that I like that choice it comes back right at the end of the game.
Oh my god!
And by the time you get to the end of the game, most people will have forgot about that being a choice that you made.
Because I just
come along and like fuck you up.
Yeah.
No, I just played I just fought a boss fight.
No, someone brings up what you do with the bear as like a morality question later in the end of the game, which I found interesting.
Oh, you mean the discussion?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the boss that was the bear. No, that choice.
That discussion comes back up later as like.
I thought so. I thought that. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't kill the bear in that discussion.
No, really. Do you also get what I mean about like how I hadn't played any Pillars games, but I was very quickly like, this world is interesting. Like,
yes, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Because like even the fact that like straight away people are talking about how there used to be like all these godlikes and now there's none, and I'm like, what happened there? And then I Google it and they're like, that's explained in Pillars of Eternity too. Do you like the little the noun dictionary thing you can pull up to like when people are talking?
Yes. That? Yeah. That.
Like,
yep.
Highlight words and not the first game to do it, but I find it is quite like interesting.
Can I actually? This now makes me. We're gonna circle back to fucking Lost Records for a second here because I forgot to bring this up during Lost Records. One of the things that I find really cool about Lost Records is its conversation system because it incentivizes you not rushing. and listening to people, and because the longer you listen to certain sections, it then gives you more options to talk about and directions to take the conversation in. And if you pick an option too early, it like kind of cuts them off, and I really like that. It feels organic and very good. So sorry, stick that back in the last seconds. But yeah, like it does. Like when you're interacting with characters in this game, it is good to have a solid backstory and that your character has a place in the world and is kind of built up appropriately. But then on a kind of the other hand, it's like it's still.
I think it helps the dialogue though, because like instead of them like trying to be like, we'll write really weird dialogue where it's like, hey, anyway, like this thing at the Deadfire Archipelago, this thing happened, but like then try and like fit in to explain it. It's like someone just naturally talks about the event as if they would in the real world, like in this world. And then if you're like, I want to know what the fuck they're talking about, you can bring up the thing. It just helps the dialogue, I feel.
Yes, 100%. And even like then, whenever they say Deadfire, I'm like, oh, that's the subtitle of the second Pillars of Eternity game. So obviously that's then cool.
That's a thing.
Nice.
Well, because it's like
it's a place.
It's a place. Yeah, they show on the map. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Glad you're enjoying it because I very much enjoyed it. So
it's good fun.
It's good stuff. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Catch us back here next week on the same time, same couch, same channel. Until then, check out explosion.com. Follow us on Blue Sky, explosion.com, at explosion.com even. And have a great week, everyone. Enjoy all the shows, Pokemon, Annapurna, and Xbox. Enjoy them all. We'll talk about next week. Goodbye.